Hi guys, going to get on the TC125 swing arm bushing setup today. We're going to start reconditioning them. Actually, we're going to recondition one part and make the other part, and then marry it all together. If you've watched the TC250 or the TS250 build, you've seen me do basically the same thing, except in that case we had to make the outer bushing from Delrin. In this case, the both items are made out of steel, so one of them will just recondition, and the other side, the inner one, will make from scratch. Let me show you here what we're doing. I went over this a little bit in the last video. I just want to point out again that the outer bushings are made of steel in this case instead of Delrin. And these I'm going to take down to the hone, and we're going to hone out the inside of them until we get most of the rust or rust pitting or corrosion out of there. And at that time we'll decide whatever size this is, that's what we're going to make these, except these will be 2,000 smaller. And actually this type of procedure that we're doing gives us a little bit of flexibility too. So if we're a little bit large on these, we can actually hone these until we have the proper fit. So it's just a easier way to go about the whole process instead of building everything and trying to make it match. So I'm also going to give you a little bit of insight of the hone. I've had quite a few people ask me about the old thing and what I use it for and so on. So I'm going to take you down there. That's where we're going to begin this process, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an education, so to speak, on a piece of old USA equipment. Okay, this is it's an old Sunnen hone. You can see there by the label. It's made in St. Louis, Missouri. These have been around since the beginning of time. This particular one, I believe, is about a 1966 or 68, somewhere in there. Used to be one of these machines in every garage, filling station, everywhere in this country. Maybe not this exact one, but one that is very comparable to it. They use these to it's a pin hone is really what it is, and it's evolved a lot since. And I don't know everything about it, but I know that back in the day, a lot of people they had kingpins in their cars, and they used these to fit the kingpins, and they're also used to fit piston pins and to resize rods and that sort of thing. You would pull this piece out here, and there would be a gauge over here that's set up to check your rod on, your lower or the bottom end rod, and you just adjust this up, and it actually let me see here if I can turn this around a little bit. It's not wanting to turn. Anyway, you can see right here, this is your honing stone right along the edge here, and with this dial up here you can increase how far the hone comes out, and down here you can adjust the pressure at which that hone is in contact with the honing piece. And in order to keep these hones sized correctly, you have what they call a sizing sleeve, and you'll take this while it's spinning and run it back and forth just to keep that hone sized properly for what you're doing. I've been working with these bushings a little bit, so I've got it kind of set up to that, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing and how I do that here in a moment. And anyway, this is just an old piece of equipment that used to be a lot of them out there. It's pretty simple. Just got a motor and some pulleys, and you've got a reservoir for the oil, and down here on the floor you've got the foot feet. That's what I'm going to actually operate to run the spindle here. And I don't know much else to tell you about it. Oh, I do use it to hone my cylinders also. Let me get you back on the stand here so I can show you. Okay, this is my honing setup for cylinders. It's a little bit different. You've got 4 pads. In some cases, you can have 2 pads and 2 followers. Some of them used to be felt. These days, most of them are aluminum because they want to keep it to the same size as the stone. So that's now on some of my smaller cylinders, I can't utilize this adapter, but it's plenty accurate still to use one like this. We've got different sizes for different. You've got, I don't know, it seems like it's about 50 thousandths on each one of the arbors. So you've got to have quite a few of them to have a constant, from one size to the other, so that you're never without a particular size. You can see all the sizing sleeves I've got here. So there's quite a few different sizes that you need to have if you're doing different things like I do. And I just use I use it a lot for just any kind of ID work, inside diameter stuff. If you just need to remove a little bit in order to fit something, that's what it takes. Is just put it in the hone, select the correct spindle, and just work it down to whatever size you need it to be. And so I'm kind of limited as far as the small sizes. This, I believe, is the smallest spindle that I have. So really, just a little bit under 3/4 is where I'm limited to. I actually need to try to pick up some smaller ones. But anyhow, let's get on here, and I'll show you a little bit of how this thing works. I think I did go over it a little bit in one video in the past. But I did just hone the cylinder that we looked at in the last video in this one. And this is how we're going to correct this wear problem or corrosion problem on these. You just run it down the complete length of your hone, your stones. And every once in a while, I'll just reach up here and tighten it up a little bit. And once in a while, I'll take it and turn it around the other way so that I keep a uniform size. And then just occasionally, I'll go ahead and check my work. And by looking just really just looking down inside of it to see where you're at as far as cleaning it up. Now those are looking real good, or that one is. You can see that you can get really precise holes in this case. See, whatever I finish that last bushing at is where this one will be finished at because of the same size. You're not going to get that much wear that quick. So these are looking really good already. So I'm gonna work on them just a little bit more, and then we'll go up and see what we're gonna need to do with the lathe. Okay, guys, we're back over to the lathe now, and the first part of the operation we need to do is to bore this piece of DOM out a little bit. This is DOM drawn over mandrel. Basically, it's a seamless tubing. It's got very good characteristics as far as durability and everything goes, and it's very good machinability. First thing I need to do is bore it out to my finished size needs to be 0.472. This is a 15/16. Let's see, 15/32, I'm sorry. It's going to get us to 0.468. So we'll have to hone just a little bit of actually not hone it, we'll have to ream it, the last few thousandths there. That's the closest I can get. And where I've got the tape here, that's just a crude form to show how deep I need to go for both pieces here, and still have room to cut them off, to cut it off in the middle and at the end. So that's where we're going to go first. Side there. I forget what size DOM this is. It's I think it's the same stuff I used on the TC or TS 250. It's very close, so it's not a lot of machining that we have to do to it. Generally speaking, anyway. I'm sure you'll think, a lot of people will think, gee, why don't you just buy them, you know? Well, they cost money, and they're hard to find. Actually, they may be available from Suzuki, I don't even know. I just don't even want to mess with it. I can cut them out and make them fit better than the ones from the factory do, and that to me is, you know, the form and fit is a lot more satisfying if I do it myself. Now I realize not everybody is got all this equipment, so I guess maybe how you can look at it is that I'm saving it for the people that don't have the equipment, so you can go buy the parts. Ain't I a nice guy? All right. That should be it for that. Get out of the way. And let's see about where we're at here. Yeah, pretty close. I believe, let's see what I've got my reamer set at. Yep, about right. Yeah, it's really close. It's almost just taken the machine marks out, I think. And that looks like that's going to be a nice fit. So I'll continue on with that and bring you back when we get to the next part here. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to cut this down to 0.715, and it's at 755 now, so about 40 thousandths. First cut, I'm going to take half of that on. Let's see here. See where I'm at. Zero out. And half of that will be 10 thousandths on each side. Okay, so if I take 10 off of here and 10 off the other side, that's 20 thousandths. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take my final pass. Okay, I got the first one cut out. Here's the first one, and I just put the grease groove in it, and now I'm going to do the other one. Now I left this one a little bit long, so it's easier to adjust by facing off the end than it is to get it right when I cut it. So that's the only reason I leave it a little long. All right, let's get this other one going here. I'm just going to get an approximation on the grease groove here. It's not that important, it's just important that it's there. And we'll start it about right there, I think. Okay, now I'm using a cutoff tool to put this in. So over on this side I'm good. On that side I need to get something else in there to do it with, because this just isn't going to get close to that side. So I use this guy here to finish it up, just so I'll have a good shoulder on this side. Just like that. Now again, I'm going to just get a close estimate on the length here so I can face it off to get it right. Yeah, it looks like that ought to do it. So I need to clean up this other end just a little bit right here on the inside and the out. And I'll clean up those edges on the grease groove also. Now we'll go ahead and sever this thing. Now before I cut it all the way through, I'll take the file and hit this side here so it'll be deburred. One end to the other I'll have to redo because I'll need to face it off a little bit. that is that. And I'm not going to touch that for a little bit because it's going to be hot. Okay, on this last one, I'm measuring at 1.285, and I need to be at 1.243. So what have I got here? 42. Yep, 42 thousandths. So we're going to put that guy back in there. I'll just bring the tool post or the tool up against it and set my DRO to 0. Back it off, move it in, $42,000. I moved to 42 thousandths, and I'm locking the carriage again so I don't lose it. Let's see how close I am. Yeah, I left a little, and I did. I need 7 thousandths. It's pretty important that you're pretty close. There, 0 out. Seven thousandths. Lock it up. Still need about 3. I always go by the premise that you can always take more off, but you can't add on, so all right. That ought to be close. Yeah, there we are. 1, 2, 4, 3. All right. So let's check our work here. Nice fit. Okay, let me clean these up and we'll install them. Okay, let's get everything put back together here. We've got one of our outers. And then we need our spacer and our other outer. Before we get it all together, let's put the pin in. Make sure everything's kind of lined up. Okay. And we need to get some grease on it. Oh, that's a nice fit. Nice fit. Yep, good fit, good fit. Now, this is the seal for both sides, and I just happen to have some new O-rings. I've got a little kit right here that usually has what I need in it, and those go up around the outside here, and then you have the washer that goes in the middle of it. But before we do all that, we're going to put a little grease in it. Install our seal and our washer, and we'll put a little grease on the washer, and same with the other one. Get some of this grease off my hands so I don't make too big a mess. Alright, then one of these will go here, and the other one will go on the other side there. And I'm not gonna grease up the bolt right now. I'll do that when I install it in the frame. And this one, of course, goes right here. And then we have a washer and a nut. So there's our rebuilt swing arm. New bushings, reconditioned outer bushings. Good to go for another 50 years. So, another project accomplished on the TC125. Not sure where we're going to go next. I may jump back on the TS250 just for a little bit, and well, we'll just see. But I hope everybody learned a little bit about the Sunnen honing machine. Those things have been around forever, and like I said before, they were in every repair shop and garage service station in this country at one time. So there's a lot of them out there. I've had mine a couple years, maybe 3, and it's just invaluable to me. I hone the cylinders. I hone any kind of ID stuff that I'm working on like this. It's just a really easy way to take a little bit out. You can pick them up for, not that much. You might pick one up for $400 or $500. You might pay, $1,000 for one. But they're everywhere. So the only trouble is trying to find one in your area or something. I was not able to find one in mine, so I had to source it out of Kansas. I think I got mine. But anyhow, I hope everybody saw some value in that. I had several people ask me about it. So there you go. And we spent just probably an hour and a half. We honed down the external bushings and made new internal bushings and got them installed. So hey, if you like what's going on, give me a thumbs up and a subscription if you have, or if you haven't. And if you have, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the bell icon, because that way you will get it first when I upload another video. So thanks for going along on the ride. See you next video.